All right, so we're here.
Yeah, a little further than I expected.
Why, what's the problem?
Yeah, I mean, we got turned around a couple times. I don't quite have the range that I'm feeling too confident about getting home.
I don't think that's actually going to be a problem, because today we're going to a company called SparkCharge.io, and they make a battery.
Yeah, I mean, battery, that's cool. I need some electrons in my car.
Don't think that's going to be a problem. You'll see why. Come with me.
Okay.
All right, so I'm here with Joshua Aviv, the CEO and founder of SparkCharge.io, and thank you so much for meeting with us today.
No problem, glad to be here.
So what do you got here next to you?
Yeah, so this is a portable, ultra-fast charging station that can be delivered to an electric vehicle owner anytime and anywhere they want with the push of a button or a phone call.
I kind of want to just take it right now and put it in the car and never give it back.
Yeah, a lot of people do. And I think that's the beauty of it, right? I mean, this is a DC fast charging station that can charge an electric vehicle rate of 1 mile every 60 seconds, right? So it's super fast. It's meant to be portable. It's meant to be lightweight. It's meant to go where the EV owner needs it to be. And then the cooler part about it is the fact that it's modular, right?
Yeah, it looks like there's one battery on it now, but like you can put more?
You can put more. You can actually connect modular batteries together to increase the amount of range going into the vehicle. And that's something that we absolutely love about our system.
Okay, wait, so stop there for a second. I get it that when you add more batteries, you're going to add more capacity, but you just said you can add even more range. So, oh, I'm getting it now. Okay, so wait a minute. So how much is in the first battery here?
Yeah, so the first battery is somewhere between 10 to 15 miles.
Okay. And then basically I can add them as I need to.
As many as you need to, right.
So what's the use case for this? Am I supposed to just keep this in the trunk of my Tesla, or who else would be interested in one of these?
Yeah, so the use cases are really amazing. They're almost endless. And so the main use case is essentially, getting range delivered to you. So you could be sitting on your couch, open up your phone, say, hey, I really want some range to my car, push a button and it gets brought to you. It can also be used for the convenience route. So you're going on a long road trip. You want to have someone meet you along the way and charge you at a rest stop. They can meet you at any location, charge your vehicle, and you continue on your journey. And then of course there's always the roadside application, right? So as more electric vehicles hit the road, there's going to be more instances where people are just not in a distance of a charging station. And so this can be brought to them in their time of need.
Okay, so I know that you guys are testing this right now out in California as we speak. You've got it on some tow trucks basically, right, on a network. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, so we're partnering with one of the nation's largest roadside providers. A couple of the companies, we've got some pilots going in LA where you can get range by just dialing the phone number of the tow truck company. I believe that's Atlas in San Francisco and G1 Towing out in LA. They'll bring it to you, just request it.
Wait, so kind of like if I'm driving an ICE car and I run out of gas, they've got a little gas tank there on the tow truck. They can bring this along and charge me up.
Exactly.
So if I am, driving along and I run out of juice, I call them up. How long am I going to wait to get enough juice to get me somewhere to charge?
We've seen times as little as 20 minutes.
So that's a really cool use case. So I want to kind of talk to viewers out there who might be, we have a lot of entrepreneurs who watch the show. This seems like a cool opportunity, right? Because for years, you were just talking about ICE cars, like bringing a tow truck to fix ICE cars.
Yeah.
But now you got EVs, which really aren't broken.
Yeah.
They just ran out of juice, but yet the typical tow truck can't help them.
Yeah, so I mean, it's this really interesting dynamic where I believe, most EVs, when you run out of range, you have to get a specific tow truck, a flatbed, because you don't want to drag the car. And then you have to get towed to the destination, then you have to wait and recharge at the destination. With a portable charging unit, essentially, the moment the tow truck driver arrives, he sets it on the ground, plugs it in, hits the button, he's charging your car for maybe 10 or 20 minutes, and you're on your way. So a lot of that extra process of loading the vehicle, towing the vehicle, driving to a charging station and waiting completely gets removed.
Interesting. Now, can you give me a little bit of background on your company, how you got started, where you got this idea?
Yeah, so started the company at Syracuse University. We were, originally a dorm room startup. I took a professor's class at Syracuse, and the class was environmental economics. And the professor walked in and he said, look, if you want to change the world, solve the problem of infrastructure for electric vehicles. It's going to be a huge pain point. We got that idea from the professor, and then shortly after that, I was introduced to my co-founder, Christopher Ellis, and my other co-founder, Richard Whitney, and we started developing the technology that would go into this unit here.
So how long ago from when you got the idea to when the company really got started?
Probably a good 2 years.
Okay, that sounds super fast to me. Now, talk to people out there who might be in college right now, might be thinking of doing a startup. Was it easy? Was it hard? Like what?
It's extremely hard.
Okay.
Yeah, there's nothing easy about it for sure. There's so many roadblocks. There's so many things you have to overcome. I think having a great team was really something that got us through those things. But especially when you're developing a product that hasn't been seen before. I mean, at the time we were developing it, when you typed in portable EV charger, Google didn't even know what it was, right? And so developing that category, developing that market, developing that tech, developing that awareness has been a huge, huge, huge process that we're just now starting to see the fruits of that labor come to life.
Interesting. Now, when you get started in a dorm room, it's an idea on paper, and then when you want to finally start to make a prototype, I assume you need a lot of money.
You do need a lot of money, and you need a lot of money, right? And so, we've been extremely fortunate to have some of the really amazing partners. We were fortunate that the moment while we were developing this while in college, we were able to partner with Blackstone Launchpad, and from there, working with Linda Hartsock and her crew at Blackstone Launchpad at Syracuse University, we then went into Techstars, and we got a lot of great mentorship and advice and funding through the Techstars program. And then from there, we were able to go out and raise more money through venture capital and get some amazing partners who believe in our mission, believe in our vision to back this product and help us get it to market.
Now, we're in Somerville, we're next to Greentown Labs, and then you guys have your own building right now next to it. So did you guys just move from Greentown Labs over to your new building?
Yeah, so we moved. We used to be literally in there, our lab was in there, and now we have this, our own building, which allows us to do more stuff, have more freedom. We love Greentown Labs. I think there's no better place on earth to really develop a clean tech company, to develop clean tech technology. They give you an ecosystem and an environment that truly allows you to grow your technology. And through that environment that we were able to foster and grow, and we were able to actually now move into our own space and continue to grow without being too far.
Right. Now, the testing that you've done out in California, I'm really curious to see, you've basically gotten some good data, I think, about like how the battery's being used, what kind of cars it's being used on. Can you share with us any of the data that you find interesting? Like what I'm interested in is like, what kind of cars are the ones that are being serviced with this? Yeah,
so mainly Teslas and Nissan Leafs are the main ones out in California. Some of the amazing data that we've actually been able to receive that we can share is you touched on it earlier, how long does it take to get there? What we've been able to see is that EV owners don't want to be separated from their car, right? Especially now in a time of COVID, you can't really ride in the cab with the tow truck driver. And so it's become a little bit tricky. How do you move, an individual and a car in a tight space? But what we've actually been seeing is that EV owners are willing to wait on average a smidge longer to get this delivered to them and charged versus having to leave their car or tow their car. If you gave the EV owner the option of saying, look, we can have a charger to you in the next 15 minutes, or we can have a tow truck to you in the next 10 minutes. They're going to take the charger every time because essentially it's an easier, smoother process. You're charged up in 5 to 10 minutes and you're on your way.
Now, what's the smallest unit? How many kilowatt hours do we get in that pack?
Yeah, so this is the smallest configuration right here. So essentially you have your 20 kilowatt converter and you have your modular battery on the bottom. And then you can continue to add more batteries if needed.
And so how many kilowatts is in that battery?
This is a 3.5 kilowatt hour battery and a 20 kilowatt power system.
And how big can I go? How many stacks can I make?
You can connect up to 5 of the modular batteries together.
Okay, so my question I guess is, why not just go humongous? Why not go 200 kilowatt hours and put that in the back of a van?
Yeah, I think it really comes down to size and weight, right? So the key factors that we were able to get around that make us unique are the compact size, right? Like this is literally something that you can fit into a suitcase. The fact that you can connect these together means that they're lightweight, you can pick them up, you can carry them. If we wanted to do 200, so kilowatt hours, it means that this would become a gigantic system, which kind of goes away from our goal. And if you really look at it, the optimal amount of power going into a car is somewhere between 20 to 50 kilowatts. And we're right there with that. So we're giving you the optimal amount of speed, but at the same time putting it into a package that's easy, portable, modular, and it can get brought to you. You don't have to worry about finding it.
Oh, so that's really smart. So instead of me having to dedicate a whole van just to being a battery, which means that now that's all I can do.
Correct.
I can be a tow truck driver who can do many different jobs, including charging cars.
Correct. I mean, you can literally set this on your passenger seat, buckle it up, and take it on the ride with you.
That's so cool. Now, this seems like it's mainly for businesses at the moment.
Yes.
But I heard that maybe there's some kind of consumer version that you guys are thinking of. Can you share anything about that with us?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously this is meant for businesses, right? And the idea is that essentially, if you can work with as many businesses as possible, you can actually create a mobile infrastructure, an on-demand infrastructure. And the idea is that by working with businesses who have these units, and we can provide these units too, they can go out and service the end user, the EV owner. When you have that built out, essentially you have a network that is always on, it can never turn off, it's always roaming around, and it can be delivered when needed. This means any type of natural disaster, any type of power outage, the EV owner is never in fear of not having range around them, not having range delivered to them. In the future, one of the things we're thinking about doing is welcoming, individual EV owners into that network, into that family, where they can also not only have it for themselves, but provide range to other electric vehicle owners as needed.
So I heard that there might be some kind of app coming out. Can you tell me a bit about that?
Yeah, so there's going to be what you like to call maybe like the Spark network, essentially, and it'll basically be a way for you, the EV owner, to take out your phone and see a list of all the providers in your area that can bring you range. And you'll be able to find, pay, and have range delivered in one place. So now you never have to worry about it. And the cool part about it is that you can even schedule it. So if you know you're going to be going to your office that doesn't have EV charging, or you live in an apartment complex, condo, or high rise that doesn't offer EV charging, you can now schedule that charge to come directly to you, be charged up in a quick manner, and never have to worry about finding the next charging station. Essentially, it's a mobile app that encompasses what we truly believe in, which is a mobile EV charging network that's always available when you need it.
Now, I have to admit something. We got here today, and I don't know if we have enough charge to get home. Is it possible that we could use your unit to charge up our Tesla?
Absolutely. We'd love to charge you up.
That's awesome. And I just thought of another use, which I don't know if you've thought of before. We're going to be racing a race car up Pikes Peak in a couple months.
Really?
At the end of August. And one of the things that an electric race car needs is juice. Of course, on the mountain, there's no plugs.
Yeah.
Would it be possible for us to bring a SparkCharge to Colorado so that we can charge up the race car at the bottom of Pikes Peak?
Absolutely. That's actually a perfect scenario for it, actually. We could charge you up right at the starting line, no infrastructure needed, set the unit on the ground, plug it into the car. As soon as the driver is ready to hit the gas and go, we unplug and he takes off the mountain.
Wow, that seems like a awesome use case, because before we got into racing, I knew nothing about this, but the more we've been learning, the more EVs are actually doing the races, and most race courses just aren't set up for that. So there's not, even if there's a 110 outlet, that's really not going to help.
Yeah, and that's actually a good point, right? There in some of these really unique locations, call it legacy infrastructure, if you will, where you've never needed to have the gas pump, or there is one already built in there. EVs are going to start dominating those spaces and start coming into those spaces. And so, having a unit that can actually get into these unique opportunities where infrastructure isn't available is going to become, really critical. And so, Pikes Peak, which is a legendary race, driving up a mountain, I think doing it in an electric vehicle gives us a unique opportunity to show not only are EVs the dominant vehicle that can take on these big challenges, but also now the technology has caught up to where, the range and the capacity around doesn't have enough mileage to get up the mountain, simply go away. You can charge it at the bottom of the mountain, charge it at the top of the mountain. Anywhere you need to charge it, it can be charged.
How does it feel to be a minority startup founder?
I think it's glad that it's getting a lot of shine, or it's getting a lot of attention. I think it's something that previously it was not. But I'd say it's definitely been an interesting journey being a minority founder, being a minority CEO. I remember, when we first started the company, it was very hard for people to take the product seriously, take the company seriously. And then on top of that, there's a lot of use cases where being the minority CEO in clean tech specifically, I'm usually the only minority in the room. Clean tech is an industry that's dominated by people who are not of color, by people who are not minorities. Being a minority CEO, bringing out a product that has never been seen before, that has never been used before, and saying, hey guys, here's a better way to solve this current problem that we have. We faced a lot of opposition. But luckily, I think that as times have gone on, we've seen that, our technology has been validated, our use cases have been validated, the need has been validated. And that's really shown a lot of light, not only on, myself as an entrepreneur and CEO of a clean tech company, but also a lot of the use cases from other minority CEOs in clean tech that are going out solving other problems. I think what needs to happen in the future is that, you know, a lot of these applications that are being developed by minority founders and CEOs and really diverse teams, they need an opportunity, they need a platform to shine, they need a chance for people to take a chance on them and show like, hey, you know, they can actually contribute to this clean tech revolution. On top of that, you know, this is something that I'll continue to preach forever, is that, you know, minority CEOs tend to impact communities in a different way. When you look at a startup, when you look at an organization, wherever they're located, wherever they're based, that's the community that they're going to impact. So for us, for example, you know, we're here in Somerville right now. We have offices in Buffalo where we manufacture our units here in the United States. And those are the communities that we're going to impact, right? We're going to hire in those communities. We're going to bring jobs to those communities. The more minority entrepreneurs that we have out there, that means that those underrepresented communities now have someone that can hire inside of them, that can hire from them, and they can actually change that community from the inside out. So I think that that's another thing that goes unnoticed, is that you can create your community, you can change the face of a community, you can basically lift people out of poverty through entrepreneurship, through hiring in these communities that typically go underrepresented. And that's something that we've started to focus on here at SparkCharge as well. So long-winded answer, but that's essentially how I envision it and how I think of it.
And your company is growing right now. So, I mean, I heard through the grapevine that you're probably going to be looking for more employees soon. Is that something that people who are watching could check out your website for?
Absolutely. So we are hiring right now. I think you guys walked in on an interview, right? We are hiring, we are scaling our team, and we're always looking for really great talent. We want people who are motivated. We want people who really care about, you know, moving clean tech forward, who really care about changing this world in a positive manner. And if that's you, if that's them, feel free to apply, feel free to reach out to us. We're always looking for people like that.
Thank you so much for taking time to talk to us about this today. I can't wait to try out your product here today and also at Pikes Peak. This is going to be really exciting.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so Chris, I need a favor.
All right.
I didn't charge my car before we left, so it would be really great if I could just get a quick charge so that way Zach doesn't find out that I didn't actually charge the car and that we aren't going to make it back.
All right, that's the battery, that's the charger.
Okay, so I assume I need to get this a little bit closer.
Yeah, so you want to move it a little closer with your right hand pointed towards the car.
Okay.
Yep, you just want to set it up like that.
Okay.
And just kind of, yeah, you can put it right down right there, or you can kind of move it around here, because we always want to keep it on a flat surface, especially when you're stacking up more units.
Oh, right, because if it was very high up and I stacked it down.
We're only going to do one for now, but it's good to kind of keep those practices going.
Okay, cool. So that's all set.
You're all set there. Now for the charger, you want to have the cable facing towards the vehicle. It's going to be on the same side as that one connector.
Okay. And I just kind of drop it right on there?
Yep.
That was easy.
Yep, and then and now you just unstrap the cable from the side of the unit.
Okay.
With those quick ties.
Nice. Nice.
And you're almost set, but you still need to open up your charge port and use your Tesla adapter. I'll go ahead and help you out with that.
Oh, okay, right, because yeah, this is Chademo, and that plug won't fit here. All right, so do the old Tesla trick to unlock your car.
So here's your Tesla adapter.
Okay, cool.
And just snap it in the same way.
Chademo
plug it in
to Tesla. All right. Okie doke.
Now you're ready to start charging. You just got to hit the start button, which is our logo there on the front.
Okay, cool.
And you see that the green lights and blue lights turned on, so it's locked in, ready to go.
Cool.
It just clicked. Now it's doing your pre-charge safety checks.
Yep.
That means it's going up to 500 volts, testing the insulation. It's completed. You hear the click again.
Yep, and I can hear it working.
Yep. And so now it's green, and now it's charging. It's that simple.
A magic moment just happened. So I totally understood. Okay, right, this is going to charge my car. The moment my car started charging, I'm just like, wait a second.
Yeah, you're actually
because
charging.
there's nothing.
There's nothing there.
There's nothing here. That's insane.
Yep, and currently you're charging at about 10 kilowatts on our demo unit.
Wow, this has been a dream of mine since I got an electric car. I was like, oh, I just want to have a big battery that'll charge my car whenever I want, and now that is a real thing.
Yeah, and that's what went into all of our development of this technology is giving people the freedom and flexibility to charge their car whenever and wherever they want.
Wow. Okay, so I can see in my screen right now that I'm getting about 6 kilowatts of charging speed. And so what does this put out max? Because it looks like this wasn't fully charged when we started.
Yeah, so a max battery pack is up to 12 kilowatts. It depends on the battery, the state of charge of our battery and the state of charge of the vehicle's battery.
Oh, right.
Because we're doing DC fast charging. So because it's DC fast charging, we're directly tied into your battery. We're outputting 25 amps into your car. And so it's going to give you whatever power, 25 amps at the current state of charge of your battery is.
Okay, because I do have a confession. I wasn't actually out of juice.
Yeah.
I'm never that irresponsible. So I actually, my state of charge is probably around 60%. I'm so happy that I get to experience this before anyone else. Really, I mean, because I've just always wanted this. This is great.
Yeah, once our network's up and running and operating, you'll be seeing these units all over the country.
And let me just ask you a stupid question. This will fit in my trunk, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
You can actually fit 4 batteries and a charger in your trunk. We designed the exact size to fit a Model S, exactly 4 batteries, 1 charger.
Wow, okay, and how much extra range would that give me, roughly?
That would give, on average, an extra 50 miles.
Wow, so if I knew that I was going on some kind of adventure and I was gonna be camping outdoors and whatever, and I wanted to have an extra 50 miles to get home, I'm 50 miles from the nearest, outlet in the world. This could be my backup.
Yeah, now you can have the flexibility and the freedom, really, and the worry-free hassle of going out camping, going to the campground, knowing there's no infrastructure in place,
right?
Bringing the charging station with you, charging up while you're there, and having enough range to get home.
Wow, and I mean, a tow truck could bring this to me, so I don't have to take up all the space that I need to sleep.
Yeah, if you want to bring a sleeping bag, camping equipment, maybe you're only 20 miles out and you want to bring 1 or 2 batteries with all your equipment with you, you can.
Right.
That's why we designed it to be modular, so you have that flexibility. You can bring as much range as you need on any given day.
Wow. Wow, this is fantastic. Thank you so much, Chris.
Yeah, no problem.
This is a dream come true for me.
All right, so what did I tell you?
Yeah, I have plenty of range to get home. So yeah, we're all set. You ready to head home?
Yeah, let's do it.
That was awesome.